Good evening, everybody. We got here another Age of Empires 2 1v1 on Arabia, this time between Hera and Miguel, two top-level players. So let's get right into it. Hera playing as the Byzantines in the red, and his enemy in the blue is Miguel, playing as the Franks. So Byzantines obviously being a very, very good counter-civilization, and Franks known for that Frank cavalry, very, very strong when it comes to scouts in feudal age, and then of course the knights once we get into the castle age. Just speeding it up a little bit through the dark age as we get around and taking a look at their maps. Easy wall off to protect the back gold for Hera. However, forward berries will be a little bit more difficult to protect. Can still create walls, but very open on the front. Taking a look at Miguel, obviously playing as the Franks, you want to have those berries with that berry bonus, but again, very open on the front. He does have a backstone and a side gold that's fairly easily wallable, but not the ideal situation for either of them. I think that this is a great map that whoever is aggressive first will have a little bit of an advantage right off the bat. Second board getting pulled in from Miguel. I will slow it down a little bit now. We do have 16 villagers for each. Both players have started to scout out the enemy and really just getting a feel of what's going on. One thing that Hera has noticed is that is not all the way to the end, depending on whether they have tall trees or not. Knowing Miguel, he probably can see that that tree line does not go all the way to the end of the map, but if we look at his perspective, yeah, likely he should be good to go. So what can we expect is probably going to see some sort of scout push from the Frank player, and we do see a barracks coming up already for Hera just as Miguel clicks up to the feudal age. Hera, of course, just putting up the barracks. No militia out yet. I do not believe we will see a drush here. He does look like he wants to go up to the next age, which he will be able to do shortly as he drops a wall off across this entire front portion of his base. Still very, very open, but having to do quite a few walls. Hera is well known for his quick walling, so sometimes does not do the initial wall off at the front, but good idea. Better off to play it safe. This is a ranked game. You're not wasting too much time and can't hurt too much. Is spending a lot of villager time though. If you look at this right now, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 villagers walling off his base, and his scout is sitting at home as he just wants to protect and protect and protect. Looking at Miguel, a lot more open, but he has had villagers working the entire time. Miguel does have 2 villagers less. That does have to do with the click up times, so that will even out as we go along, and a stable immediately getting dropped off for the Frank player. Let's see what Hera can respond with. Hera does have all villagers on wood and only 2 on berries at this point in time. Really heavy onto the wood. Surprisingly, they're not seeing any farms up yet, so we might be just looking at no archers as of yet. Interesting build there on Hera's perspective. Miguel going for those small walls. Not as ideal when looking at villager movement, but very quick, and you don't waste that villager time. You don't waste possible resource collecting time. And Miguel's still collecting his last goat as he does have 4 farms up, and Hera now placing all of the farms down. He will be collecting food quite quickly now. Moving forward with just a spear at the time. He does have 2 scouts that he doesn't see that are coming towards his base. And I'll be interested to see exactly what comes out of Hera's strategy. With this many farms, not collecting enough food to really click up at this point in time, but not playing any aggressiveness either.
Presto.
The spear coming forward with that scout will cause a little bit of a headache, but with the amount of scouts that are already out for Miguel, he's got 5 scouts already, that he will get to a point fairly quickly here where he can engage against the spear. He does have +2 attack. He does already have the extra HP as he is playing as the Franks, so that will give him a little bit of an edge against Hera. His own spear coming forward now as we do take a quick look at the income of both of them. Both of them very similar as far as resources go. Not collecting much gold. Hera just moving out now, and Miguel just sending the first villager over there as well. A little bit of an engagement, but nothing too major, as Miguel is just pacing back and forth, taking a look, seeing what Hera is choosing to do. Attacking the barracks real quick. That won't last long as the spearmen will be coming out right now.
Presto.
But the scouts, for the time being, are just going to distract as much as possible. Those 2 in the front, while the 4 that will come from the base will be moving forward shortly. Berries are open, but with the villagers going idle, that will not last too long as they are all going back to chop wood. Quick little pick off there from Hera, and Hera still just sitting at home, happy to collect up resources until he hits the next age. They will have very good economies, but here we go. Look at these walls. Talk about spending time and resources. My goodness, fantastically large walls all the way across the front. We do have 5 scouts coming forward. There are 3 spears from Hera. Not too much that Miguel can do against that at this point in time until he gets enough of his own spears. Villagers will likely get a couple of hits in just to push them back a little bit, because these scouts right now are useless against this many spears. Blacksmith now coming down for Miguel, and Hera just sitting back. Blacksmith at home. He's got his 1 feudal age building. Now his stable is up, and Hera has clicked to the castle age. Miguel's not too far behind him. Just a little bit of idle time from some of his farming villagers has pushed him a little bit back, but he will be clicking up shortly. Right now he will click up to the next age. There you go. He had to idle his TC for a little while, but looking at the overall villager counts, not too far behind Hera. Miguel sitting at 32 villagers. Hera with 35 right now, and will have the lead to get into the next age. Second stable coming down for Miguel as he does finally wall out this last spearman. Will take him down quickly with those scouts as well. 1 scout coming forward from Hera. Interesting choice for him to come forward with a scout right now, but might throw off Miguel. I know that it's throwing off me for this Byzantine build. Strange double stable now. That would makes a little bit more sense as he does get the armor upgrades on this scout. Unlikely to see another scout coming out as of yet. We look at the fog of war. Miguel has scouted the first stable, not the second, but he will be suspecting that there will be something as he sends a weak villager forward. That villager gets picked off, unable to drop anything forward, and there we go. Hera now building camels. That makes a lot of sense as Byzantines, especially playing against the Franks. The Franks, of course, being such a strong civilization, they are able to combat camels with just sheer numbers at this point, but it is not an easy turnaround. Monastery coming forward for Miguel as he will be looking to get some conversions of some of these camels. That will make a huge difference for him. smartly walling in his own villager while they build the monastery. That will allow her to stay alive just that much longer, and that monastery will be able to go up now with knights backing it up. And just looking to boom up is Miguel. Second TC has been placed. Hera himself has already got his second TC up, and that is a good location on that gold. Will protect this wood line as well, and just flanks his base. Always nice to have. Hiding these scout cavalry back, as we do see knights coming forward, but 4 knights versus 4 camels, and a monk does not win that battle. Smartly, Miguel looks to go back, run away, as this monk will be able to turn the tides. Does get the spearman conversion. Spearman not necessarily worth it, as this monk will likely go down now, and if not, we'll leave the gate open. But my goodness, the scouts have run right under the town center. Quick little damage, did pick off 1 villager from what I can see, but that is it for right now. Still caused some damage, caused some delays, and allowed this front army to really save themselves. The camel just makes it out of range in time, as the next monk for Hera is looking to convert a knight, and whoa, Miguel able to get away with that one. Miguel will likely lose this villager now. Hard to be really doing anything against it at this point in time. And the scout and knight together will take out this monk. Now this monk will die to a camel as well, and we do see just monks getting taken down. Quite a few camels coming forward now for Hera. Hera definitely has a little bit of a lead. He's got a big villager lead and a big military lead now that is only going to grow until these conversions come into play. But Miguel on his 3rd town center, Hera already beat him to it. Hera just being that little bit quicker throughout this entire game, and that is really one thing that separates Hera from a lot of players. He is so fast, even against these top level players. I mean, Miguel has been very top level for years at this point in time. But Hera is just so fast, knows the game so well, understands builds, understands what's needed at what point in time, and when it comes to just straight macro, he's one of the best in the world. This monk will go down, will not be able to get the conversion, and now, of course, knights going against camels, never a situation in which you want to be in, but sheer mass, as well as that monk being able to assist a little bit, has allowed Miguel to push back the army of camels and knights for the time being. But 2 monks come forward for Hera, and there we go, the tides have turned. Both players with very few army, but Hera with 10 to the 3 of Miguel. Still just sitting on 3 TCs for each of them right now. And nothing too crazy going on forward. Taking a look at resources, quite a bit of gold right now in the bank for Hera, and Hera can actually pick off this monk. Nice quick play from him, just gets those camels in, and 2 knights can't do anything against these camels until this monk comes out, gets a conversion if they're lucky, and does get a conversion, but the armies will still die. Bad pathing there, running around that house. Bad luck there from Miguel. Sometimes that just happens. The one good thing, of course, having the monks in, they do heal up the units, and these camels, these knights, running back to the monk, getting healed up, and then going forward for battle once again. Very, very helpful. Let's see if these knights can get converted back to the Frankish team. And it looks like they will get 1 conversion. That is always good. With Monk War, it's so vital to get just every little conversion, because it turns the tides of the battle so quickly. And Hera deciding just to delete that knight. Not worth it at this point in time. We do see a university coming up now for the Byzantine player. And the Frankish player throwing down a couple of pikemen, really needing an answer for these camels because the knights are not doing it at this point in time, just getting pushed back, pushed back, pushed back. And we do see some barracks coming forward. Of course, the Franks not having the strongest pike line still can do quite a bit of damage against the camels. And as he does that, Hera is up to the next age. He has 20 more villagers than Miguel and is still continuing to build. Miguel quite a bit behind. Miguel at this point in time does need a good engagement against these camels and knights, and these pikemen might be just what he needs. Will get a conversion for sure there, but there are 3 monks now moving forward for Miguel. That will be able to turn a little bit of this battle, but not quite enough. 4 monks now, 5 coming forward, and this army having to fall back as these monks are pretty much changing the battle. Of course, the issue with monks is once they have lost their faith, it takes a little while for them to get it back. So they are healing each other up, causing a little bit of delay, but Hera has just overpowered them, will push back for the time being. But it's so important now for the micro of the monks to really convert back and forth and back and forth. A couple upgrades from Hera will be able to turn the tides of the battle and will be completely changing the situation that he is in at this point in time. Does convert a pikeman. Not ideal to be converting a pikeman when there are camels and knights on the field, but at this point in time, the pikeman is the strength of Miguel. Hera is dropping a castle now. I'd love to see cataphracts, of course. Pikemen very strong against cavalry, but cataphracts very strong against infantry. And just like that, as Hera puts this castle on the front, we do see a lot of villagers coming forward. The issue being, Hera is in the Imperial Age, Miguel not yet, so any trebuchets can come out at this point in time, and there is not too much that Miguel can do to combat against those trebuchets. The castle from Hera will definitely go up. He does still have the 20 villager lead, and just like that, Miguel calls the GG. Just a textbook play from Hera. Very, very strong. Just one step ahead of Miguel every step of the way. Taking a quick look at the stats, and as expected, Hera ahead everywhere. That was just great execution on his part.